Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you that are new here, hey, my name is Tina and welcome to my circus. In today's video, if you couldn't tell by the title, I'm going to be going over some tips and tricks on how to get you the best dewy, healthy looking skin if you have got dry skin problems. It's very easy to look like you have dewy skin when you're oily, so this is for my dry skin, combo skin type girls. In this video I'll be going over some of my favorite products that I use for foundation, concealers, setting sprays, all that good stuff, and I will show you basically how we go through and apply all these things. So if this is something that you're into, something that you've been wanting to know about, then I suggest you stick around and we can go over this. Otherwise, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, you probably should, because it's probably a really good idea. I don't know why you wouldn't. Just do it. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and jump on into the video. All right, before we go in and do our faces and all that stuff, the one thing that I am going to stress the most, especially with my girls with dry skin, is your skincare routine. Your foundation is only going to look as good as you take care of your skin. And I see it quite frequently that I see a lot of girls that have dry skin, and it's very clear that they don't have like a skincare regimen. They're not exfoliating, they're using matte foundations, and it just ends up looking like this really crusty, cakey, gross mess. And I see it far too often. Like, I almost want to say it's like a crisis in the world because so many people haven't figured it out. And I'm not saying this to bash on anybody by any means. I want people to be able to go out and look beautiful and look natural and all these things. And realistically, makeup is supposed to be there to enhance your natural beauty, not make you look worse. Granted, I don't know what's underneath everybody's foundation, but when I see a girl that clearly has dry skin and she's wearing super matte foundation, she's got crazy skin issues, she's clearly not exfoliating, things like that, and then the foundation ends up just looking terrible. And I'm not knocking anybody. I know that there are some skin conditions that take way more work than just your regular everyday thing. I get compliments on my skin all the time, not tooting my own horn. It's because I have spent a lot of time trying to figure out my skincare regimen, all that stuff, and it's taken me a long time to get here. Like, trust me, I promise you when I say not very long ago, I used to have blackheads everywhere and I would have breakouts and my skin was dry and flaky, and I was that person with the cakey looking makeup, and it's taken me some time to really dive into my skincare routine. So I cannot stress it enough. If you do not have a current skincare routine or one that is working for you, I suggest you adjust it. And like I said, if you've got different things like cystic acne, things like that, I don't have experience with that. So by all means, I am not knocking anybody on their skincare routine that, you know, has a more severe issue that, you know, needs more like medical help, things like that. But as far as everybody else goes, as far as just regular dry skin goes, which is common, I'm talking to you. So anyway, I'm gonna go into it. Things that I use on my face that might be helpful for you guys is I do use a really good exfoliator. Do not exfoliate your skin every single day. It's bad for it. You should find a nice gentle exfoliator that you will be using every other day. I use the Murad AHA BHA exfoliating cleanser. I use that every other day just to kind of slew off a little bit of that dead skin, and then I alternate between that and the vitamin C cleanser from Murad as well. As far as toning my face, things like that, Murad has a really good hydrating toner. Yes, before I continue, a lot of the brands that I use on my face are a little bit pricey. It's just what works for me. I have tried other drugstore brands and they don't work as well as these ones for me. Like I said, invest in your skincare. It'll take care of you. So another toner that I have fallen in love with is this guy right here by Fresh. It is the Fresh Rose Hydrating Toner. This stuff, like if you've got extremely dry skin, like this right here is a lifesaver. I swear by it. It smells amazing, and just this alone hydrates the hell out of you. And sometimes I'll use it and feel like I don't even need to moisturize afterwards because it's so hydrating. And then following that, as far as different types of skin creams, things like that, moisturizers, for my girls with really, really dry skin, something that's a little bit heavier. I don't use this one during the day because it's too heavy. I use it at night just to kind of help with that hydration, which is also by Fresh. It is the Fresh Rose Hydrating Face Cream. This stuff is amazing. You can get it at Sephora. Otherwise, I swear by it. It works amazingly. And then for my girls that have a little bit more combination skin, still have dry skin, I also swear by the Peter Thomas Roth Water Drench Hyaluronic Cloud Cream Hydrating Moisturizer, which is this guy right here, and this is basically what it looks like. A couple dupes for this that you can use that I've seen that are out there. Tarte has their Drink of H2O moisturizer that you can use. Glam Glow also makes a water burst type of gel, and these are gel, so this is what I'm talking about. They're like, it's like a gel type moisturizer. So when you have dry skin and stuff like that, look for more of the gel instead of like the heavy creams. Use the heavy creams at night, use the gel moisturizers during the day. And then one good drugstore one is actually, it's like the Neutrogena Water Bomb Water Burst Hydro Boost, something like that, but it's in the clear blue jar. You can get it at Target, you can get it really anywhere, you can get it at Ulta, all those places. So those work extremely well. So that is enough about my skincare routine, but look into some of those things. Trust me when I say that if you have dry, patchy skin and you can see the flakes, you need to get that off of your face. Second tip that I have for you guys, foundation finishes. If you have got extremely dry skin, stay the hell away from matte foundation. If you have found a matte foundation that works for you, great. 90% of the time they look awful, they dry you out even more, and they really bring out your pores, your dry patches, everything else just about your face. And I do know that the matte foundations have been just this huge trend lately. I don't like it. I don't think it looks very natural per se. I feel like we all, I mean, this is just my face, bare face right now. I think we all have this natural glow to us naturally. I don't know why you'd want to mattify it. It just looks really like youthful, and I like it. So I'm gonna go over a couple of my favorite foundations for you guys, show you which ones that I like, from high-end all the way to, you know, lower end drugstore type things. Then we're gonna go ahead and apply the foundation and all that good stuff. So as far as foundation goes, here are a couple of my tried and trues. By the way, primers, I love the No Poreblem Primer by Touch in Sol. You can get this at Sephora. I believe it's $18, and a little bit goes a long way with this stuff. It'll last you forever. Otherwise, if you've got really dry skin, you don't really need much of a primer. You just need a good moisturizer base for your foundation. So trust me on that one. So as far as my foundation goes, as far as like full coverage for all my full coverage girls, the Too Faced Born This Way, this guy is my holy grail ride or die foundation. I don't know what I would do without it. It looks beautiful. It's got hyaluronic acid in it. It's got all these amazing things that hydrates your skin. It makes your skin feel amazing, and it looks so damn natural. It's a little bit more pricey, but I swear by the finish on this, I don't get oily at the end of the day like some dewy foundations will do. This stuff is just, oh, I love it. It's absolutely to die for. So this one's my favorite. Another one along the lines of high-end for my lighter coverage girls that just want that sheer coverage. You don't want full coverage or anything like that. By the way, this is medium to full coverage. It's buildable. I'm more of a medium coverage kind of girl. Another full coverage one that I like for those really full coverage type of days is the MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing Foundation. I like this one. I am in the color NC42 in this one for anybody that is curious. This is really good when you want those really crazy full coverage foundation days. And then in the Too Faced one that I showed you guys, I'm in the color Caramel. Another good one, and this one is more drugstore, is the Ordinary foundations. If you have been here for a while, you may have seen my last review on it, but it's the Ordinary Coverage Foundation. It is a high coverage foundation. I believe this thing goes for $7.60. You can get it on the Ordinary's website. I think you can also get it on Beautylish, things like that. This works extremely well. It doesn't look cakey, anything like that. And then my last full coverage foundation that I think looks really good, that's a little bit more pricey, is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation Stick. Works amazingly. I am in the color Y405 in this shade. And then as far as our lighter coverage ones go, I am a huge fan of the MAC Next to Nothing face color. This stuff is amazing. This is for those girls that just want that like BB cream coverage, that CC cream, that BB cream coverage. This is not going to cover up your blemishes or anything like that. So if you just got that really nice, perfect skin, as I like to call it, you know, you don't really have anything too crazy going on and you just want something to just, you know, even out your skin tone, things like that, this works amazing. I wear this every day, Monday through Friday. This is not my weekend foundation. This is like my going to the office work foundation, so it's not too heavy. Another really good one is the Ordinary Serum Foundation. Is their lightweight one. It is this guy right here. By the way, in the MAC foundation, it is in the color Dark. And then the Ordinary, I am in the color 3.0 wide. This is also a very light coverage formula as well. I use the hell out of this and it's really, really good. Otherwise, that is it as far as all of my foundations. I'm still trying to find more drugstore brands that I love. Otherwise, those are a few of my favorites. And then as far as concealers go, I've got 2 ride or dies that work really well with my dry patches. For my more expensive girls, the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Concealer I think works amazing. I'm in the color medium golden. It blends flawlessly into the skin. It looks like skin. You know, I have used the Tarte Shape Tape. I know everybody swears by it. I just think it's a little bit too matte and it really kind of like creases under my eyes and stuff like that. So I only use it if I'm going for like a really, really heavy coverage day and I want to work with it. But this stuff is my ride or die, and a good dupe for it as far as, you know, drugstore prices is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. And this one I am in the color medium 30. So anyways, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into doing the face, all that good stuff. So I've already prepped my face. I've already primed all that stuff, moisturized. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the No Poreblem Primer. I'm gonna go ahead and take that and put that all over the face. Primer is on. I'm gonna go in with my tried and true. I'm gonna go in with the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. So I'm gonna take a little bit, put it all over my face. With any of these foundations, if you want a little bit of the shimmer to it, I do like to mix my Marc Jacobs Dewdrops into this foundation. It's really, really pretty. You can actually do it with a lot of different types of liquid highlighters. You can blend it into your foundation just to give it a little bit more of that dewy, luminous effect. And the MAC Strobe Cream is actually really, really good for that as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, put it all over my face. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in so you guys can kind of see better what I'm doing. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put this all over my face. All right, for my girls with really, really, really dry, patchy skin, I do suggest going in with a beauty blender. A lot of times using a brush, it'll kind of peel up a lot of that dry skin and it'll bring out that texture. The beauty blender works a lot better at kind of patting it down and not bringing up that texture. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the Morphe Y6 foundation brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and just blend this all into the skin. So our foundation is on. Always remember to blend your foundation down your neck, you guys. This part of our body is actually the lightest usually all the time because the sun doesn't necessarily get to this part of our bodies because our chins are usually shadowing that part. So don't be that girl that's out there with the foundation line. Blend it all the way down your neck. And if you're wearing something low cut, blend it down into your chest too. Just, you can blend it down to your damn ankles if you need to. Just make sure that there is no line, that you can see the line between your foundation and the rest of your body. So anyways, if we look up close, you can kind of see that, you know, this does leave a nice luminous finish to the skin. A little bit of advice when putting on foundation, make sure that when you are blending it, that you are stopping right around here. Do not bring your foundation all the way up to your eyes if you use concealer underneath your eyes. Bring it kind of like, imagine like you're putting on a face mask type deal, and you know that you don't bring your face mask all the way up to your eyes. You kind of stop right here. So you've kind of got like these little raccoon eyes essentially. The more that you layer up your foundation and your concealer, the cakier it's going to look. So only take your foundation up to right about here and leave this part bare. And then at that point, we can then go in with our concealer. So I'm gonna go in with the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Concealer that I told you guys about. I'm gonna go ahead and take that and I'm going to go ahead and put it underneath both eyes right here. And then we are going to blend that in to the foundation. And I actually like to blend it up over my eyes as well because it's a nice base for my eyeshadows, things like that. If you are the type of girl that likes to highlight everywhere, down your chin, nose, forehead, all that stuff, go ahead and do that. I like to go for a little bit more of a natural look and just kind of brighten up the eyes so I don't look as tired. Otherwise, I don't really have any darkness on my chin, forehead, so I don't need to brighten up those areas. So I tend to leave those areas alone. I just brighten under my eyes. So let's go ahead and blend this in. Ladies, if you have your beauty blender, go ahead and pat it in under those eyes. And there we go, we have our concealer on and we look a little bit more alive, right? We don't look as dead and tired as I have been made this week. So anyway, next step that I usually have to do after this is I do powder. I know if you have really, really dry skin, it's a little bit, it can bring out some of that dryness. So I really, really want to emphasize that if you are going to powder your face, only really do it to set your under eyes to make sure that your concealer doesn't crease and any places that you might get oily. Otherwise, if you have extremely dry skin, you don't get oily, do not powder your face. It's going to make it look so much worse. Just work with the dewiness that you have already built up. Otherwise, if you do have some like dry skin, combination skin, we're starting to shift into the weird summer weather, so my skin's starting to do some weird things. I'm starting to get a little bit oily in like my nose and forehead area, otherwise everywhere else is dry. I do have a couple of favorite powders. Yes, they are a little bit expensive, but I swear by them. The more finely milled the powder is, the better it is for your dry patches. So try to stay closer to a little bit more of that finely milled powder. One of my top favorites that is basically everybody's favorite is the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. I know that they also make this in a deep color for my ladies with deeper skin tones. And then another love that I have just found is the Marc Jacobs Finish Line Invisible Perfecting Coconut Setting Powder, which is this guy right here. This one's a little bit pricey, but it's so finely milled and it's so good. And then MAC makes a really good setting powder as well. The one that he did with the one that they did with Patrick Starr is actually really, really amazing as well. So basically what I do is I'll take a little bit on a brush, and then for those of you, you can actually do this with a beauty blender as well. Take a damp beauty blender and kind of dip into these. I'm gonna go in with a brush on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a big fluffy brush, take a big fluffy powder brush and go ahead and dip into there, tap off the excess. We don't want too much powder. And I'm gonna go in and just set the under eyes so that we don't have to worry about any creasing. The thing that I like about the Laura Mercier powder is that it really helps with the pores. If you have large pores like I do around your nose area and under your eyes, it'll really help with covering those up. So I went ahead and powdered under my eyes. The rest of my face is usually pretty dry except for my forehead and nose area. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some of it and just kind of just dust it ever so lightly right in these oily T-zone areas where I tend to get the most oily. So from there, everything looks very, very pretty. So the middle of my face is all nice and set. The edges are still pretty dewy. Usually what I like to do, just because a lot of times that powder can still look pretty powdery on the face. It's still kind of emphasizing a little bit of those dry patches. So what you're going to do is take a nice, you can take a setting spray. I like to use MAC Fix Plus. So I've got MAC Fix Plus and I've also got it in coconut and it smells really, really good. You can also use the Mario Badescu facial spray, which is really cheap. You can get it at Ulta. I believe this bottle is like $7 and you can get the mini ones, I think, for like $5 or something like that. But this one's my favorite. It's the rose water spray. They also have a coconut one, not coconut, I'm sorry, a cucumber one, and then they have a lavender spray which I like to use at night. So basically what I'll do is that I will take the whatever spray it is that you want to do, I'll take it and just spray it all over the face. And I'll even do this, I always do my foundation and stuff before I do my eyeshadow and all those different things. So I usually do this before I go in with any of my eyeshadows and whatnot. So I'll take this and just spray it all over the face. It's nice and wet. And then you'll go in with a damp beauty blender and you'll take this and just kind of push it into the skin. Don't pounce it like you're blending in foundation, just take it and just push it in. And basically what that's going to do is take any of that powder and melt it right into the skin so that you lose any of that powdery, cakey grossness. And then it just kind of looks like skin. So if I kind of go in a little bit, we lose that powderiness. So there's no weird powderness on my face. So it's all nice and melted in. And for those of you, if you're curious, I know I get a lot of questions from people, how do you get your foundation to stay on your nose? I know a lot of people have foundation come off of their nose and that's usually like an oily issue, which is probably gonna be an issue for my girls with combination skin. Use a really, really good primer. A lot of times eyeshadow primer works really, really good. So the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer, this stuff right here, works amazingly. So you take a little bit of this, dab this all over your nose, let it dry down, and then put your foundation on. I swear to God, it'll stay all day. So that's a little nose hack for you guys that lose your foundation on your nose, things like that. So anyway, That's usually what I do to finish the face. I always finish my face when I'm completely done with all of my makeup with the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. This stuff I believe costs about $7 or $8 on the Morphe website. It smells amazing. It's probably one of the best setting sprays I've ever used next to the Urban Decay All Nighter spray. I like it, use it all the time. And then for just some nice refreshers, if I'm feeling dry and not as luminous, I'll actually carry a mini one of these in my purse with me, and I'll just kind of freshen up during the day, and it feels really, really nice. So anyways, guys, those are my tips, tricks, and hints on how to do all of your foundation and your concealer and stuff like that. Hopefully you found this helpful for your routine. Hopefully you can adopt some of these things. Feel free to leave any questions below in the comments as far as any questions on products, questions, any recommendations that you guys might need on different things that you're using, any problems that you might be running into, things like that. I think I've done pretty good at perfecting, you know, foundation for dry combination skin at this point, as it looks pretty damn good, tooting my own horn. So anyways, guys, thank you for following along with me on this one, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.